Google CEO Eric Schmidt was booed by students as he spoke about the rise of artificial intelligence during his speech at University of Arizona's graduation ceremony, underscoring growing anxiety over AI's impact on jobs. I know what many of you are feeling about that. I can hear you, Schmidt told graduates as jeers rang out at the venue during remarks comparing today's AI boom to the rise of computers 4 decades ago.
2 US nationals have been arrested after one jumped into the enclosure of an internet-famous monkey at a Japanese zoo while the other filmed the stunt. Police have said one of the men, who claimed to be a 24-year-old college student, is accused of scaling a fence to gain access to Punch's enclosure on Sunday morning. The other man claimed to be a 27-year-old singer.
A New York judge will allow a gun and writings found in Luigi Mangiarone's backpack after his 2024 arrest to be presented at his state murder trial over the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, but has ruled that other items are inadmissible. Judge Gregory Caro ruled on Monday that certain evidence must be suppressed, including the magazine, cell phone, passport, wallet, and computer chip found with Mangiarone at a Pennsylvania McDonald's.
The road of life, pockmarked, laden with torched vehicles and covered with netting to block drones, fights its name. A lifeline resupplying Ukrainian troops on the toughest of front lines, sometimes by robotic delivery. The stretch of asphalt from Druzhkivka to Kostiantynivka is purely about survival. Ukrainian troops, often emerging exhausted after months pinned down in this position, move almost exclusively by foot, passing the burned-out vehicles of those who chose to try to dodge the drones with speed, rather than by being small.
Or Beirut, Lebanon, Israeli attacks across Lebanon have killed at least 7 people despite a United States-backed ceasefire extension. The attacks were on Monday came 3 days after Lebanese and Israeli officials held talks in Washington, D.C., which resulted in an agreement to extend their ceasefire for another 45 days. Israel has repeatedly violated the truce, which was initially agreed in April. Scoring goals at the World Cup remains one of the most eagerly awaited moments in a footballer's career. And come June 11, some of the best strikers will get a chance to add their names to the goal-scoring charts for the tournament. The forwards with the most goals by July 19 will walk away with the Golden Boot Award and find themselves in the company of the sport's all-time great.
India's Tata Electronics has signed a deal with the Dutch technology giant ASML, Advanced Semiconductor Materials Lithography, to build India's first front-end semiconductor fabrication plant as New Delhi pushes to develop a domestic semiconductor manufacturing base. Front-end manufacturing refers to the building of microscopic circuits onto a blank silicon wafer using specialized lithographic machines. ASML is a pioneer of lithographic technology used in the mass production of microchips across the world. The market for AI note-taking devices has exploded in the US, with the category generating over $600 million in revenue last year, according to a Menlo Ventures report. And as startups like Heidi Health and Freed have shown, there's decent demand for this tech in healthcare, where doctors and clinics see the potential for an AI assistant that can help them keep track of patient conversations, surface health records, and lower their administrative burdens. But those apps don't do much for patients, which is why Kin Health is building a note-taker that can transcribe your visits to doctors, pass medical advice, and surface next steps when required. To that end, the startup has raised $9 million in a seed funding round led by Maverin.
MG Motor Pakistan has unveiled the new MG4 EV Urban in Pakistan, introducing an electric hatchback with a 43 kilowatt-hour battery and a front-wheel drive electric motor, producing 110 kilowatts power and 250 Nm torque. According to the company, the MG4 EV Urban offers a driving range of up to 316 kilometers on a single charge under the WLTP standard. The The Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, PTA, has issued an important advisory for WhatsApp users across Pakistan, warning that accounts linked to inactive, blocked, deactivated or unregistered SIM cards may soon become inaccessible. The authority stressed that mobile numbers now form a key part of a user's digital identity and must remain active and properly verified to avoid service disruption.
Pakistan Institute of Engineering and Applied Sciences, PIAS, under the auspices of the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, PIAC, successfully concluded its Open House and Career Fair 2026. The event brought together students, academia, industry leaders, national and representatives on professional companies on a vibrant platform dedicated to promoting innovation, research and professional development.
MG Motor Pakistan has reduced the price of its Bingu EV in Pakistan amid growing competition in the country's electric vehicle market. The company announced the revised pricing during the launch event of the new MG4 EV Urban in Lahore. MG Motor Pakistan had introduced the Bingu EV in the local market in December last year as a compact electric hatchback aimed at urban commuters. Lahore. Punjab's Provincial Disaster Management Authority, PDMA, has issued a weather alert forecasting dust thunderstorms and rain in several districts of the province from Monday night to Saturday. According to a PDMA advisory issued on Monday, a westerly weather system is expected to affect the upper parts of the country from the night of May 18 and is likely to persist till May 23.
An Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been declared a public health emergency of international concern by the World Health Organization. Dealing with this outbreak is difficult as it involves a rare strain for which there is no vaccine, and the cases have been found in an area affected by conflict.
A drone attack that caused a fire close to the Barakah nuclear energy plant in the United Arab Emirates has raised further concerns about nuclear security and military escalation in the Gulf as discussions of peace between Iran and the United States hang in the balance. Barakah was the first nuclear power station to be built on the Arabian Peninsula. Here is what we know about it.
Amazon announced the latest update to Alexa Plus on Monday, the ability to generate podcast episodes on demand. The new feature called Alexa Podcast is rolling out to customers in the US today. Amazon describes the capability as a way to turn any topic you're curious about into a podcast episode, ready in minutes. Veteran batter Mushfiqur Rahim hit a glittering century as Bangladesh set Pakistan an imposing target of 4-27 to win the second test after another commanding day for the hosts on Monday. Bangladesh posted 390 all out in their second innings on day 3 with Mushfiqur, who made 137, and Liton Das, who hit 69, putting together 123 runs for the fifth wicket. Tehran, Iran. The Iranian stock market is due to reopen this week after an 80-day closure due to the war with the United States and Israel. While the exchange is not the core engine of economic financing in sanctions-hit Iran, the reopening could offer an insight into the state of the country's economy and allow authorities to gauge investor trust and market liquidity.
The World Health Organization has declared that an Ebola outbreak in Uganda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo DRC is a public health emergency of international concern, setting off alarm bells around the world. Several countries battling CMSA virus are battling to contain a hantavirus outbreak linked to a cruise ship trip to South America.
What is it actually like on board a flotilla to Gaza, knowing you'll likely be targeted and imprisoned? Until now, it's a story that's been told mostly in fragments, one vertical video at a time. This is the inside story of what it is like on the global Sumud flotilla, the drone attacks, the safety drills, the calls home, and the Palestinians in Gaza waiting to see if civilians can break a siege backed by a superpower. This episode is part of a 3-part documentary series, The Flotillas, by The Take and AJ Plus Connect with us.
Grafana Labs, the maker of its eponymous popular open-source web visualization software, confirmed it had been hacked, but that it refused to pay the hackers who had threatened to release the company's codebase. In a series of posts on social media, the lab said its investigation found that the hackers had abused a stolen token credential that allowed access to the company's GitLab environment, which it uses for code development. The token did not provide access to customer records or financial data, but allowed the hackers to obtain the company's repositories of source code. The company has since invalidated the token and added additional security measures to prevent a repeat incident.
The Sindh School Education Department has directed private schools across the province, including Karachi, to immediately refund fees collected from matric students for the months of April to July 2026. The Directorate of Inspection and Registration Sindh said several complaints had been received against private schools for charging Class 10 students fees for months during which they were appearing in examinations.
The Islamabad administration has exempted shops, markets, shopping malls, restaurants, and several other businesses from the recently imposed early closure timings until May 31, 2026. According to a notification issued by the Office of the District Magistrate, Islamabad Capital Territory, ICT. The exemption has been granted with immediate effect in continuation of an earlier notification issued on May 5 and in reference to a Cabinet Division notification dated May 18.
Islamabad. The Islamabad High Court, IHC, on Monday issued notices to the Capital Development Authority, CDA, on intra-court appeals filed by 20 apartment sublessees of the multi-billion rupee One Constitution Avenue project, seeking protection of their possession rights after the cancellation of the project's lease. The court sought the CDA's response by tomorrow, Wednesday.
The United Arab Emirates, UAE, is standardising the deadline for paying private sector salaries to regulate wage payments across the country, Khalij Times reported on Monday, according to a new rule introduced under the UAE's Wage Protection System, WPS. Salaries must be paid on the first day each month for the previous month, while payments made after the first will be considered delayed. The rule is scheduled to come into effect on June 1. Lahore. The Water and Power Development Authority, WAPDA, said on Monday that it recorded more than 6,000 megawatts on Sunday night following an increase in the release of water from reservoirs by the Increase in the Release System Authority, IRSA. With increased indent by IRSA, WAPDA's hydropower stations provided 6,118 Bajunabu to national grid during peak hours. The authority said in a statement, Iran has moved a step further in its attempts to formalise its effective control over the Strait of Hormuz, after the country's top security organ announced the formation of a new body to manage the key passage. The country's Supreme National Security Council on Monday said the new authority, called the Persian Gulf Strait Authority, PGSA, would provide real-time updates on operations and the latest developments in the strait, a critical choke point through which 20% of the world's oil and gas pass in peacetime. Iran has submitted a response to the latest United States proposal to end the war via mediator Pakistan as a fragile truce comes under growing strain. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghai told a press briefing on Monday that Tehran's response to the latest US proposal had been conveyed to the American side through mediator Pakistan. The semi-official Tasnim news agency reported
Pakistan Test captain Shan Masood has been included in ESPN Cricinfo's panel for the greatest men's international cricketers of the century, a project focused on selecting the best men's international players from 2000 to 2025. The feature reviews performances across tests, ODIs and T20Is over the last 25 years, with attention to players' records, consistency, leadership and overall influence on the game.
The Punjab government has proposed making building fitness certificates mandatory for private schools to ensure the safety, strength and stability of school buildings. According to a letter issued by the Punjab Communication and Works Department, school buildings will undergo structural inspections and safety assessments. The proposal recommends hiring third-party consultants or independent engineering firms to carry out the inspections.